Hey, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of the DVC show. I am your host, Paul Krieger, and I'm joined this week by my lovely wife, Amy Krieger.
Hello.
Ryan Chung.
Hello.
Lauren Dela Cruz.
Hello.
And Jeff Haslam.
Hey, everybody.
Thank you all for joining us and for tuning in. We are headed into, we technically in Florida, we are already in what I think is one of the best seasons of the year, even though it doesn't feel like it down here yet. But that would be fall in the Orlando theme park realm, which starts, I think, like August 1st. I feel like the pumpkins were up at Magic Kingdom like the beginning of August this year.
Are they up already?
Oh, yeah, the first Halloween party. By the time this episode goes up, we're already like 3 weeks into Halloween parties. You will probably have already been to your first Halloween party of the year. So fall season is in full swing when it comes to Florida, even though it doesn't feel like it quite yet. But fall is an extremely popular time when it comes to Disney Vacation Club ownership. And so we thought, why not share some of the things that we love about being Disney Vacation Club members in the fall. But before we get to it, please, as always, if you love this show, love the content we produce at DVC Fan, this is all brought to you by the world of DVC, DVC Resale Market, if you're looking to buy or sell a Disney Vacation Club contract, Monera Financial, who can help you with financing that contract purchase, and the DVC Rental Store, where you can try before you buy, rent some points, or rent out your own points. So please show some love for them. But I think all of us here on the call today are, big Disney Vacation Club members, but also big fans of coming down here during the fall travel season. And I think that's honestly probably the most popular time of the year when it comes to Disney Vacation Club membership. So I thought we'd kick things off by just going around the room and sharing some of our things that we're excited about. I think we've all got plans to stay at a Disney Vacation Club property, or at least be on property in some way, shape, or form over the next few months. So, Ryan, why don't you kick us off with some of the things that you love here in the area for the fall travel season?
Sure. One of the things that I really like about the fall season is that September tends to be a very low crowd season, right? I don't think there's really a season anymore where it's not going to be crowded at all. But September tends to be one of the lowest crowd seasons for Disney World. And it also tends to be one of the lowest point seasons for DVC as well. So if you're looking to save on points, you really can make the best use of your points by staying in September.
Yeah, that's always, it kind of blows my mind that September is the lowest point season when everything that's happening basically in October or November is also happening kind of in the September timeframe as well. So it's like, why not go in September and it be a little bit cheaper? Now it will be hotter, so I will throw that little con out there. But it's amazing to watch how the point charts essentially flip. They go from basically the cheapest season, which is that September 1st, September 30th, and then October 1st onwards, they just get progressively more expensive. Then we get into the holiday season through the end of the year. And, it can cost you 2 or 3 times as much to take that vacation as it would if you took it back in September. So definitely a great point when it comes to that time of year. Jeff, what are your thoughts on Disney Vacation Club in the fall?
I am a super fan of Halloween. That's my favorite holiday. Always has been. I love dressing up. I love everything about Halloween. So as those Halloween decorations start to creep in, I've already got my Mickey's Not So Scary tickets. It's my favorite time of year anywhere. And as we all know, Disney really hits it out of the park when it comes to celebrating these holidays. So.
Yeah, you know what? The Christmas, decor is nice, but there's just something about those pumpkins on Main Street. And back in 2015, Paul took me on my first real Disney World trip, and I got so excited that we were going to be there in October that I had this screensaver of that giant Mickey pumpkin on my computer for several months, and I didn't find out until we went. It was actually the wrong park, that the giant Mickey pumpkin is actually a Disneyland and not a Disney World. So that was a little bit of disappointment, but And we missed it last year by like 2 days. I've never seen it. But this year.
This is the year.
This is the year of Amy's going to get to see the giant Mickey pumpkin. But even at Magic Kingdom, I love those like pumpkin-y scarecrows, those wreaths. I don't know why they don't make like a home version for people to buy, because I can't tell you how bad I just want to like shove one of those in my backpack and take it home. They're just awesome. But I love the fall decor is just my favorite, like even more so than Christmas.
And you've always been a fall fan. Like you loved it even before Disney. Like
even in Florida, like I love fall. I love the leaves changing, and even in Florida where they don't change, Disney does just really cool decorations that kind of make you feel like you're getting those fall colors. And at Disney Springs, they always do some sort of fall. Fall festival, fall decorations, really cute signs with colorful leaves and stuff. But yeah.
Lauren, what are some of your favorite parts about being a DVC member in the fall?
See, for me, I think of late fall when it's the start of that holiday season, and I love everything about it, from the resort decorations, especially over at Wilderness Lodge, and the Grand Floridian with its giant gingerbread house, and of course Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. I got to do that last year with my mom, and it was just one of the best trips I had last year. Even with Hurricane Nicole coming in that first night of the party, we got completely drenched, but it was so much fun. And the fireworks show, Mickey's Wonderful Christmas Time Fireworks, I still think it's one of the best shows that they have.
Yeah, it's a hard toss-up for me between Mickey's Very Merry and Mickey's Not So Scary when it comes to like what is the better event, because I have great memories of both of those. I remember the first time we went to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party, we actually dressed up as Wally and Eve. We had matching shirts and ears and everything. But we have a great picture from that where we got our picture with Winnie the Pooh and Tigger and Eeyore and all of them in their Halloween costumes.
Yeah, and that is one of the best photos.
I think we spent like half the party just waiting for that photo, but it was like that special that you've always loved Winnie the Pooh growing up and everything, so that was special. But I also have just as vivid of a memory of our first Very Merry party, and it was snowing on Main Street, and I'm just kind of like, this is wild, like, and we have a great picture from that too, where we're just standing there and it's snoping around us, and just an extremely special time of the year. And I think both of those, what makes it special when it comes to living in Florida, or even if you're vacationing here, it's going to start to feel very nice down here. Once we get probably about halfway through September, that's when you get some of those 70 degree temperatures starting to creep in the evenings, 60s starting to creep in the evenings. You're kind of getting to that point where maybe a long sleeve shirt doesn't sound too crazy. And I think that's one of the best parts of fall through the end of the year, is that's really when you ask people like, why did you move to Florida? That's the time of the year where it really starts to pay off. Like it's just, you get that weather every single day that is perfect. Before that, or anytime right now, if you come here to a Halloween party, we're going to
choose your costume.
Choose
like wisely.
Choose the costumes wisely. We just actually started thinking about costumes, and we're going at the end of August, and we were like, yeah, it's going to be hot. That's not that costume's not gonna work too well this year. Jeff, have you picked out a costume for your party just yet?
I have not yet. So my son and his wife and our 2 grandbabies are flying in October to go to that party, and we haven't figured it out yet, but we're going to try and do a big family like matching group costume. So we're still working on it.
We tried to do that last year, but the hurricane had other plans for us. So we actually, Jeff, you were going to come with us, and we had Mighty Ducks jerseys, and we were going to quack our way all over.
Luckily, that was in October, because those would be really hot right now.
Those would be hot as well this time of year. Ryan, give us another one of the things that you love about this time of year when it comes to being a Disney Vacation Club member.
Yeah, so Lauren was talking about late fall. I definitely really enjoy late fall as well. Epcot Festival of the Holidays is one of my favorites. It's not just about food. It's not just about the festival booths, there's actually a lot of additional entertainment that they do. My kids in particular really like going around the world and learning about how each country celebrates Christmas. I think in the UK pavilion, they have Father Christmas. The French pavilion has, I can't remember his name, but it's, the French version of Santa, and he tells a story. So there's a lot of really cool additions that they do beyond just festival booths.
I love the Festival of the Holidays. The cookie stroll, is that what it's called? Yep. Yeah, Paul always enjoys a good holiday cookie. Yep. That festival, and the weather's great during that festival. There's just so many awesome things to see and really cool holiday themed foods to kind of get you in the mood for the holidays. When I think about being a DVC member, getting to go to the parks in the fall, not just Disney World for me, I think about Disneyland. And one of the things that we really enjoyed, in terms of festivals, is when we went in November a few years back and did their Food and Wine Festival? Mm-hmm. Or maybe it was their holiday festival, but they have some really good stuff over there. And then also with the coming of fall and in the coming of the holidays, you get one of my favorite things that Disney does, which are the ride overlays. And I am so excited this September to go back and finally, see, it's been a while, see Haunted Mansion Holiday that starts around Halloween time. Mm-hmm. And then when you get into late fall, you've got, the Christmas version of Small World. And even if Disney World, you've got during the Halloween party, you've got Space Mountain, which their version of an overlay is just to turn all the lights off and terrify you with sheer darkness. But I still love it. It just adds a layer to the ride. I think we laughed a lot, riding Space Mountain in the dark last year. But I love those special little ride overlays that they bring, with the fall season.
Yep. The Jingle Cruise, there's so many different, special rides. And I'm glad that you brought up Disneyland, because that was on my list as well. We were sad we didn't get, we were in part of the ticket debacle when it came to Oogie Boogie Bash this year, so we didn't end up getting our tickets. Ryan, I think you're headed out to Oogie Boogie Bash. Is that correct?
I am. I've never been to Oogie Boogie Bash. I've never seen Haunted Mansion Holiday, so I'm really excited to experience that for the first time. But yeah, I'll be going in October, actually right around the 100th birthday, so around October 16th.
Oh, perfect.
Which happens to be my birthday too, as well, actually.
That's awesome. Yeah, and I again, I'm glad we brought up Disneyland, and I'll also just piggyback off of that and sort of bring up Vero Beach and Hilton Head. I think this time of year, when it comes to the fall, you can, especially Hilton Head, it's going to be a great time of year. It's going to start to cool down. The same thing goes for Vero Beach. I think probably as long as there's not a hurricane on its way, it's going to be a great time to head over to Vero Beach and have a wonderful beach vacation over there.
Yeah, and generally those times of the year for Hilton Head and Vero Beach are a little bit easier to get into if you don't own there, to get in there at 7 months, because the most popular times for beach resorts are usually summer and spring break. So I think that would be a great time if you're looking to kind of get in or just kind of experience not as hot on the beach, not in the summertime, to experience when it starts to cool down a little bit. Yeah, I it's been a while since we've been to Vero Beach. I'd really love to go back, and we've never been to Hilton Head, so.
It's the only resort on the list. It's the only one left.
I know.
Jeff's headed there soon, I think.
Yeah, end of September, for sure.
There you go. Look.
And while I'm talking, I just want to piggyback on the Disneyland topic. You guys talked about Haunted Mansion Holiday and Ghost Galaxy for Space Mountain, but don't discount Guardians of the Galaxy After Dark. That's something that only happens at Halloween time, and feels like a whole different ride. So, but we're talking about fall, and we went right to Festival of the Holidays, but fall is still right in the middle of Food and Wine, and there are some great concerts coming up for Eat to the Beat. I just went to my first one last week, but there's a lot on the list that being a local now that I'm really excited for, and that's something I've never got to experience before. So I think fall, Food and Wine, Eat to the Beat are something that shouldn't be overlooked.
You're just gonna.
In fact, some of the booths don't even open until late September, if I remember.
Yeah.
And there's probably a reason to that, because some of them have some foods that you probably won't want until later in the fall season. The noodle exchange and it's ramen and all of that. So there's going to be some, I know Hanson's coming back this year. The Bacon Brothers were coming, but they got canceled. Who did you just recently see, Jeff?
I saw Tiffany. I let my 80s child come out. One hit wonder. It was a good time.
Yeah, that's such a great just amenity of being a DVC member, especially since most DVC members, they're going to come often. A lot of us are annual pass holders, so it's kind of like you're getting kind of like a free concert, for your theme park ticket or your annual pass, and there is some really cool options there.
Yeah, and speaking of food and wine, something that we've wanted to do for quite some time now that we've never made it to is the Food and Wine Classic over at Swan and Dolphin. And if you're staying at Boardwalk, if you're staying at Beach Club, or technically if you're just at Walt Disney World, might be something that you want to look into. I know they have packages that include a room if you're looking for that. We felt that the tickets themselves were a little bit on the pricey side for the event. So you basically pay for the night, and I believe the event is like 5 or 6 hours long, but you do get to go around all of the booths and sample all of the food and beverages that are being offered there. They also have some specialty seminars that they offer for the event. So it is a little bit, like I said, a little bit expensive in terms of the ticket price.
I believe, though, it is unlimited.
Yep.
However many samples of food you want to try. So when you think about the price and you're like, okay, if I could go into the Epcot Food and Wine Festival for 6 hours and eat as much as I want, you could make up, it's over $100 each for a ticket. But I feel like I could spend that much at the Food and Wine Festival,
You consider a lot of the food and wine items are like almost $10 each, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't take that much to get to $100 for a ticket. So I kind of like the idea of it being unlimited rather than just a small amount that you're paying each time. And by the end, you realize, oh my gosh, I spent, $150 on Food and Wine Festival food or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. And that includes, their wine and their specialty drinks. So it is an expensive ticket, but when you think about it's all encompassing, it's an event that we've been wanting to do for so long. And I know we looked at it this year and we're like, let's wait. But I do want to do it eventually because it just looks cool.
You can go over and do the Food and Wine Classic. I'll go to Epcot and just eat as much as I can for those 5 hours, and then we'll see who spent more money at the end of it. I like that idea. It's I'm probably going to be very broke by the end of it, but I kind of like it. Lauren, what else made your list for DVC in the fall?
Something I'm not probably going to get to try this year, but hopefully they bring it back, is Jollywood Nights over in Hollywood Studios this year. I think that's really fantastic that they finally have a holiday party over there, and some of the events they have sound intriguing. Like, I love that they have the Tip Top Club from Tower of Terror, or they have some sort of jazz lounge over in Hollywood Brown Derby, and the Muppets are supposed to be doing a show, which is exciting. Like, some of it sounded so great, but I know this year it's probably not going to work out for our family, but I'm hoping I could try it another year.
Yeah, we've got tickets to Jollywood Nights, so we're very excited to try that. We're kind of I think we're going to skip Very Merry this year and do that instead, but it just kind of gives off a cool little. I think it's like almost like a Gatsby vibe or something that it
it'll be our first time. I'm gonna be honest with you, I've hardly even looked into reading about it, so I'm going in with
clean slate.
I'm just gonna be surprised by everything, but I am excited. We're always big fans of Very Merry. We took my mom last year, and basically her goal was to get as many cookies as possible. Like, she would go into the line and then she'd kind of sneak back around. So I know this is going to be a much different experience, but I'm looking forward to just trying something different.
Yeah. Another cool thing that happens here in the fall, and I know that they're doing for Jollywood Nights, they're doing a couple things for Very Merry. They're doing a couple things. We've not heard anything around the holiday season yet, but DVC does do some specialty events or some specialty membership extras during this time of year. So last year we actually were able to go to, I think it was called the DVC Meet and Treat, which we actually talked a little bit about on our Boardwalk show that recently went up. But the Meet and Treat was just a cool little, perk of being a Disney Vacation Club member. You got to go in. Oogie Boogie was in there. They had some unique character meet and greet experiences. You got some specialty popcorn, a couple cool little takeaways as well. But a lot of those tend to get peppered throughout the holiday season and throughout the fall season, because I think Disney Vacation Club knows that there are a lot of people that are on property. This is, when it comes to availability, this is when the availability crunch really gets there. So if you are planning a fall vacation, you really want to make sure you're planning within that 7 to 11 month booking window, at least booking your home resort, and then sort of maybe trying to get something else when it comes to the 7-month window. But these sort of times of year fill up very quickly for all of the reasons that we've sort of talked about tonight. What other things are we missing in terms of events? Anything else hit your lists, guys?
Candlelight Processional is always one. I know that's, again, very much holiday, but, some of the guest hosts are, obviously famous people. I think last year we saw... I should know this off the top of my head, but we saw Olaf,
Josh Gad.
Josh Gad, yes, sorry. The name just escaped me. But, he did a really good job. It was hilarious, some of the things he kind of added in and ad-libbed here and there. And it was just nice. We've done it 2 years in a row now, I think. And I really enjoyed both times that we went to Candlelight Processional at Epcot.
Yeah,
I was just talking to Amy about this as we were leaving Eat to the Beat the other night, that we've never done Candlelight Professional. It's something that I'm absolutely doing this year. It's number one on my list. So
yeah, the specialty narrators that they bring in just make those events. The cast choir that they have. So if you don't know that, obviously they bring in the professional singers that are Voices of Liberty. They normally are making up sort of the centerpiece tree choir that is part of the Candlelight Processional choir. But then the rest of the choir that is in and around that is a cast choir where cast members can actually audition, and then they get selected to be a part of Candlelight. And so many of them just love doing that during the holiday season and giving back to sort of the love that they have for this time of year.
Yeah. And just a couple other things that we haven't mentioned yet. I know you were talking about the DVC Meet and Treat. They do have something on select nights at the Halloween party this year for DVC members. I think it's just like a special treat.
Snack.
Yeah. But it's you can go, you can meet up with other DVC members. And then the other thing is that, Disney does a really good job of putting out a variety of different snack options throughout the whole, parks and resorts related to, what the season is. And I love when they come out with all the specialty snacks, different snacks for the Halloween party, different snacks throughout property at the resorts and in the parks and stuff for fall, all the pumpkin flavored things. I just really enjoy those, snacks that really kind of get you in the mood for the season.
When it comes to fall, I did want to just quickly touch on, is there any negatives that we think are to this time of year, or any reasons that we might think might not be the greatest?
I'll say that I know from our...
Go ahead, Ryan. Sorry.
I'll say one thing that I kind of look forward to outside of Florida in the September, October timeframe is that the weather tends to cool down quite a bit. And, even last year I went to Mickey's Not So Scary on October 31st, and it was still very hot and humid. I think it was in the 90s, the low 90s that day. And it was very, very hot. So that's one thing that I'm not a humongous fan of because of the weather, specifically in September, October timeframe.
Yeah, no, that's a great thought, Ryan. We love going back up north, I think, this time of year. There's some stuff that we remember back home in Wheeling that, always happens in the fall season and are things that we want to do there. And I feel like there's just never, this is the time of the year that everyone loves, and there's just not enough time to get in all of the specialty events and all of the things that you want to do, whether it be Disney or whether it be back home. Like, it's like, we need fall to last like 6 months, please. Thank you. I guess maybe that's why we started here in August back in down in Florida. So I don't know. Jeff, you were going to say something?
Yeah, I was just going to say kind of a con for me is while September, low points and kind of the calm before the storm as people head back to school, I think there's a huge influx of people that come in for Halloween for Mickey's Not So Scary and then later for the holidays. And so the crowds tend to get really, really bad, especially on weekends, I've noticed, as locals head in. So that's a con for me. I don't like crowds.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with that. From the summer ends, we get to back to school season. There's not as many crowds. We're kind of in that zone right now. And then as we head into fall, there's fall breaks. There's all kinds of reasons why people end up coming down here during that time of year. And it begins to get busier and busier. And I think that's pretty much the norm for the parks in general.
Yeah, I think that like fall and then that first week of Christmas used to be like the best kept secret. And then everybody kind of found out about it. And so it's definitely more popular now than it was, several years ago. But there's one con that I think is going to be big for a lot of families, in that you are in hurricane season during the fall. For us, now that we're locals, our first year living in Florida, we had 2 hurricanes, not one, but 2. And the second one my mom was here for. So that was an adventure, but we kind of learned through that and we were kind of ready and used to it. But if you're not from somewhere that gets hurricanes and you're traveling and you've got one coming, and a lot of people might be in that position of, do we go? Do we cancel? What do we do? So that can be a little bit of a challenge for people, and especially if you're bringing kids and stuff, you definitely want to err on the side of being safe. So, and I know Jeff, you and Amy were down here last year, right? And you were staying at Disney during the hurricane. What was that like?
It was a little unnerving, having never been through a hurricane before, but also kind of cool in a morbid sort of way. Like, I like the rain anyway, so to see it rain like that was really fun. But no, we were staying at Riviera, and they took such good care of us there. Mm-hmm. We were there, they locked us down basically for a little over a day and a half, and Riviera was one of the lucky ones because all of their food options are indoors. So yeah, really, unless you looked outside, you didn't really know anything was going on. But they had stuff going for the kids and, crafts. They even had a couple of characters come through. So if you're going to get locked into a hurricane, I couldn't have picked a better place. We felt super safe, and we just stood on our balcony and watched the rain go by. So
yeah, that's awesome. But we did a show, the best resorts for hurricanes. I think we ranked all the DVC resorts based on what would be the best to spend out a hurricane. So
yeah, that was like, if you had to go outside, or what kind of food options were at your disposal, and would I really want to stay here for that long? So on my list of any cons or negatives, one that came to mind was just the lack of, there are some specialty smaller DVC events, but as we get into the fall season, we begin to see Moonlight Magic taper off. So throughout October, November, December, those kind of events, if that's typically when your family travels, you're not going to usually see any of those bigger Moonlight Magic events. I have to imagine it's because there's all these other events going on, that there's just not enough cast members, not enough nights that are sort of open in this time of year. But it also makes me kind of go, oh, it would be really cool if there was just like a Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party that was exclusive to Disney Vacation Club members, or a Very Merry Christmas party that was exclusive to DVC members, or even like a night of food and wine that was exclusive to DVC members. All of those things could be very cool. And I think there's enough members where, heck, it could even, I don't want Disney to get this in their mind all the time, but it could be a paid extra. It could be something where you get that, you still pay that ticket price. And I still think that they would get that money, but it would be cool if it was just exclusive to DVC members and had maybe some cool little DVC twist, because those events do kind of drop off through through the end of the year.
Yeah, September is the last Moonlight Magic. So
yeah. Any other last thoughts before we wrap up, or any other thoughts about being a DVC member in the fall? I'll add a quick one, only because I know that we've been talking about it in our moderator chat this past week, but fall merchandise, that is a reason to be a Disney Vacation Club member. Ryan is looking for the exclusive Disney Vacation Club shirt. I'm looking for the exclusive Disney Vacation. We're all merch fans.
Exclusive and elusive.
Exclusive and elusive.
Hard to find in your size.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of extra smalls and a lot of 2Xs and 3Xs left, according to what most of our reports have been. But the mediums, the larges, the smalls, those have kind of already sold out throughout the parks. And I don't know. I think, Ryan, you said you heard from someone. It didn't sound like they were going to get any real restocks of some of that merch.
I heard that, and then the next day they restocked. So, it's just like the rumors you hear from bus drivers, right?
Take it with a grain of salt. So who knows? Maybe there's still hope, but there's all kinds of cool merch that comes out, and I think a lot of it that's out this year for the fall is pretty exciting. So. On that note, I think that's going to do it for the best parts of being a Disney Vacation Club member in the fall, or just being someone that's coming to Disney in the fall. Share with us in the comments of this video or over in the DVC Fan Facebook group some of the things that you love about being a member this time of year, or some of the things that maybe deter you from taking a vacation in the fall travel season. But that's going to do it for this episode of the DVC Show. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you all next week.